So as you all know, Smash came out and I promised you people videos. So why not just make theories about World of Light, the single-player Smash adventure mode thing? And yes, I know we weren't the first to talk about World of Light and its story and meaning and all that, but Nintendo didn't give us an early key. Just a free one. But still, thanks a bunch! FTC disclaimers aside, let's talk about the story of Smash. Well, I suppose it's more of an adventure mode, because it's not really that well laid out of a story. You kind of need to make assumptions. Maybe it is a story because you get to fill in the blanks with your own ideas? Good old Nintendo, making me think about their games endlessly, keeping me up at night. Content. Also, spoilers, obviously. Not that there's much to spoil, I mean, come on. So for those of you who have beaten the game or just watched the cutscenes, you understand what I mean when I say there isn't really much of anything at all in terms of why the events are tied together. They're all just kind of there. However, I've got a few ideas as to why the story is how it is, and I'm gonna tell them to you. Smash Community. Smash Community! Here's a neato Smash community. It's Smash Amino, on which you can view and show off Smash fan art, take part in quizzes and polls, and chat with other users through direct messaging, group chats, and discussion boards. You can help each other improve at the game this way, as well as trade friend codes and set up matches. So if you want to join Smash Ultimate Amino, just download it with the link in the description, and you are more than welcome to follow me on there. My username's Loxton, of course. Go give my posts a like. Alright, let's get down to business. What was up with how easy Kaleem was? The Master Hand put up more of a fight. I mean, everything is so telegraphed. It died in like 6 or 10 hits. But nonetheless, it was dope, and I wish there were more games where you just fought massive, arbitrary, abstract entities like this. Good fight. But what even is Kaleem? And why did it decide to take over the world? And recreate it in its own image? There are many theories as to what it is exactly, and some are more realistic than others. No, Josh, it's not a Pokemon. Yeah, keep it out of the script. I know it has wings, that doesn't mean it's a Pokemon. Maybe it's symbolic of the toxic Smash community wanting a stupid amount of characters in the game. Now with all of the spirits, everyone is here. Shantae, Gino, Waluigi, the Chorus Boys, Rayman. It's exactly what they've always wanted. Oh, and now Sakurai has to be the bad guy and say, no, let's be realistic. We can't do that. Stop yelling and being toxic. Blah. And ultimately the answer is balance between the two. There's a game theory in 30 seconds. Josh, no. It's not a flying type Pokemon. It's not Sephiroth either. What? Oh, people online are saying it's Sephiroth or a new Final Fantasy villain? Square wouldn't even allow more music from Final Fantasy in it. Why would they even... No. The theories you read on the internet these days. Ugh. I mean, some are pretty decent. Some believe that it's an altered Master Core, or possibly the true form of Master Hand's body, while I myself subscribe to the camp of a biblically inspired angelic being. In fact, speaking of subscriptions, YouTuber pal Gaijin Goomba recently did a video all about Kaleem's inspirations too. You should check it out, if you want extra details in that regard. He's basically Satan. Don't believe me? Well then watch that video. Or just read the whole Bible. You'll understand. It's a pretty good possibility. Anywho, there's definitely going to be some overlap between Gaijin Goomba's video and this video, just so you know. I'm going to kind of be explaining sort of the same thing as to what Kaleem is, but then adding some side bits. But I am definitely adding a theory as to why Kaleem has done what he has done in the whole World of Light story bit. So, Kaleem is a Seraphim. Short and sweet, right? Let me explain. Seraphim are pretty much a ye olden day super angel, or what humans thought they were. It was said that they had 6 wings, much like Kaleem. However, it looks like Kaleem uses them more so like weapons and to fly, unlike how Seraphims used them to cover themselves, especially their face and their feet. And then they use the other 2 to fly, traditionally. While Kaleem doesn't cover its face, or well, anything, because it doesn't have feet or a face, they do share many facets of each other. They are both beings of light, for one. I mean, Nintendo even made a pun out of its name, Gleam. Gleaming Light, Kaleem. I mean, come on, Nintendo. This is the ultimate boss of your ultimate Smash Bros. Game, and you make its name a pun? I love it. Anyway, Seraphim are pretty complex. In fact, there are many different definitions of what a Seraphim even is, and it changes based on who you ask. It started off as a heavenly celestial body, but was also used to describe serpents. So in a way, they can be both good and evil, essentially. But then later on, they are used as a stand-in for non-real angels, fakers, or possibly just an entity separate from angels. More so, just the messengers of God, who didn't always bring good news. In Gnostic Christianity, or Christian alchemy, they were the highest order of angels, and are locked in angelic prayer of the Trision, or the thrice holy prayer. Other sources state that the Seraphim were used by God to keep control by burning pretty much anything in holy light, destroying darkness anywhere, which is pretty much what happens in Smash. And I mean, this isn't the first time Japanese developers have used biblical references in their games. I mean, have you seen any of the Final Fantasy or Shin Megami Tensei games? They sure do love making normally good entities like angels and holy saints and Western organized religion, even the Judeo-Christian God, as the evil antagonist. Or just having the twist of the good guy was the bad guy all along. It's happened so much it's almost not even a twist anymore. It's a JRPG stereotype. A bunch of high schoolers going to save humanity by killing God. Original. But back to the theory, Seraph were also said to be a sign of the end of days, the apocalypse. It's pretty spot on here with Smash Bros. The entire galaxy is destroyed in a single moment. Everyone's spirit is freed from their mortal coils. However, there seemed to be a problem. Kaleem wasn't actually able to finish the job. And this may be because of humanity's, or the fighters in this case, free will. That, and Kirby technically wasn't snatched up, so the job was incomplete. I did a whole video about that theory right here. Check it out. So while Kirby was still alive, Kaleem wasn't able to finish the Rapture, essentially. Kaleem must not have had a backup plan if they got away. Probably figured that they wouldn't fight back. But most people are pretty scared of death. And that's natural, so don't worry. But I mean, if it's time to put away your toys, boy, you'd better put those toys away. And this is where humanity comes into play. Or I guess, keeps playing. You see, man has free will. If you believe that anyway. To quote the Bible, Proverbs 16:9, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." And really, that comes down to how sovereign you believe God is. If you even believe in him, really. Not trying to be a preacher or anything, just saying. It's a biblical-looking entity, so we're referencing Bible stuff. We see free will explained in the Bible as, and I'm paraphrasing, a lot, hey man, be good, or other people are going to get you, and God won't help you. Because free will. Anyways, free will always messes things up. So Kaleem, being an entity of pure light and order, wanted to put a stop to all of this fighting, as most Goody Two-Shoes characters seem to love to do. So, Kaleem must have had trouble after all of the fighters don't go down without a fight. Meaning, it had to use its ultimate move. I mean, what were the fighters doing here in the first place? They had planned to fight off all of the Master Hands, I guess, but Galeem's already there. So they were definitely all going there to fight Kaleem. You know, this is also the same cliffside that was in Brawl. Maybe they just beat Taboo, and then by beating Taboo, it summoned this thing with all the Master Hands. Anyway, getting sidetracked again. Kaleem's ultimate final Smash power move eviscerated all of existence. Besides Kirby. So now we get to the whole philosophical downfall of humanity because of his free will. Anything with free will do what they want. It's free will after all. Kirby, seeing that his friends are trapped, seeks to free them from the clutches of what he deems to be the enemy. Even if this is a being of pure light and holiness, it's trapped his friends. And as we all know, Kirby has killed more gods and eldritch abominations than anyone else in the roster, so he does a good job and sweeps up shop. But with the defeat of Kaleem, or realistically the retreat of Kaleem, we get Darkon, which again, Nintendo with the names, goodness gracious. However, instead of light and order, Darkon is all about darkness and chaos. Darkon's name being a mix of dark and archon, meaning an all-high ruler or supreme controller of, means we get a ruler of darkness. And, well, let's just say he looks pretty similar to a lot of darkness rulers in media. I mean, the similarities to Azathoth, or Azathoth, depending on how you want to pronounce it, there's a lot of them. They're super similar. Like, giant, gross, tentacly, spiky thing that devours light and is the embodiment of chaos? I mean, come on, that's crazy similar. And they're both world-ending creatures. In fact, Azathoth is so crazy that it was banished to the stars. And I want to be the first to say that I am really digging how Nintendo's getting into the whole Cthulhu mythos with this. It's about time. However, Darkon could also be based off of the Marvel comic villain Shumagorath, who I gotta say, looks pretty close. But either way, what it's based off of isn't as important as what it means. Darkon is essentially the darkness that takes over. It takes hold of you because of your actions, with your free will. And what's really cool is that depending on how you fight during the final battle between both Kaleem and Darkon changes the outcome of the game. It determines what ending you get, as there are 3 endings to the game. And really, they all play into the battle of free will. Both sides want to control humanity, or the world. Good and evil, light and darkness, order and chaos. And I'm sure you're thinking, neither of them sound all that great. In fact, both of them sound pretty crummy, realistically. And there's nothing wrong with thinking that. Because you're human. Like me. Completely. Each ending is the outcome of man's choice of free will. The dark path is a world without hope and only chaos, but the light is just as crummy, with only order and no freedom. But only when both light and dark are balanced, and by that I mean destroyed, will man exist, truly, as its own entity. Hence the true ending. But we see that not all endings are happy per se, as even in the true ending, after both are destroyed, they plummet into the ocean only to explode once more into both light and darkness, leaving only spirits behind once again. And then all of the spirits, even the fighter's spirits, are slowly drawn in a large double helix formation into a single point. And the double helix is important as it's the same form that DNA takes, the building block of life. Theoretically, this is all happening possibly to condense all of the spirits into a new super dense mass to then explode into a new Big Bang, spreading life across the universe, thus restarting the cycle of life and death, good and evil, as it has happened for time eternal. This is the end of Smash Bros. Canon. The rapture has happened. Sakurai is done. The only escape from the eternal struggle for control between the two forces in power, light and darkness, order and chaos, the fans versus the Nintendo higher-ups, is death. Or just quitting. Either that, or it's just they're all going to some magical place called the real world, where they will inhabit the amiibo. I mean, you bought them all, right? I sure hope you did. Or they all died for nothing, you monster! Save the spirits! This would be a good time to advertise a sponsored link to buy amiibos. But I don't have one. Oh, but amiibo sounds similar to amino. Maybe thank the sponsor for the support by checking them out. Link in the description. Still, it's actually a link. No, seriously. Like, if you haven't looked yet, it's funny. You know what? This game, for not having many story cutscenes, sure does still manage to tell a tale. In just 3 cutscenes, if you don't count the multiple endings, there's quite a good bit of lore here. But then again, it's lore from a party game, which is even worse than fighting game lore. I mean, have you tried following BlazBlue at all? Egad. But with the way Smash Ultimate ended, I feel like this may be it. Everyone is here. They all came together. And left. It's the end. Time for a new beginning. Sakurai said this is his last Smash after all. So the next Smash Bros will be the start of a whole new journey with a new director. Just like Pokemon right now. I mean, they did say in a direct that this will likely never happen again. A Smash Bros with every past character still in it. Truly making this the ultimate Smash Bros. But what do you think about all this? And at what point is the roster too big? Because we're getting there for sure. Let me know your thoughts down below, and until next time, you never stop using your noggin.